Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Hey, it is time, 3 o'clock here in Mountain Time in Northern Colorado. So that means it's time for Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're joining me today. It's a gorgeous day here in Northern Colorado. You can see the mountain range. The grass is green because we've been getting so much moisture. I haven't talked about this guy for a while. I want to give you an update on Bubba. So Bubba is my escape artist little calf he's a year old now. So, he's not that small anymore, but he thinks he's small. He's still here. He doesn't belong to us anymore. He's been purchased, but he's still here. He's paying rent at this point. Somebody has purchased Bubba, but they can't take him for a while. So he's been here and he's just hanging out, and he's been pretty well behaved lately, I must say. We did have to pull some fencing. We were doing that a few weeks back. So we had to pull some fencing, tighten things up for Bubba because he was such a pain. But somehow Bubba has figured out how to get out again. So, he's hanging out on the boulevard, just eating the grass by the dirt road and whatnot, not bothering anybody. And I think everybody around us now understands that Bubba just does what Bubba wants. And so they don't come to the door anymore and tell us, hey, your cow's out, because when he first started doing it, everyone was like, stopping and coming up to the door and ding dong, your cow's out. Yeah, we know. Anyway, and rightfully so. Thank you for everybody for telling us that he's out. But now we're all just kind of tired of Bubba, and he's just hanging out on the boulevard, eating the grass. And so there was some big trucks coming though. And I thought, because they're harvesting a lot of stuff in our area right now. So these great big, dump trucks or side dumps, I guess is what you call them. They're coming back and forth and doing stuff. So I thought, he can't be out there right now. So I walked out there, and I'll just tell you, Bubba is completely voice trained now. Okay. So picture this little black, well, he's not little anymore, this black Highlander. His horns are starting to come in. He's a big boy now. I mean, he's a big boy. I'm not sure how he's squeezing his fat butt through that fence, but he's still managing to do it. But the good news is he's totally voice trained. I can't say that I've had a cow before that is this voice trained. So I walked all along the side of the boulevard. I see him from a distance. I yell at him, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, Bubba?" He looks up at me. He stops. He's like, "Oh, you know what?" And then he starts walking down the boulevard. And I said, "You gotta go. You gotta go." And I pointed to the fence, and boop, there he goes inside the fence. So now I can see it wasn't that smooth because Bubba's big now. So he had to shimmy himself through the fence, but back in. And I was just noticing there's some work guys out there. Like I said, they're harvesting and whatnot. So there's some guys out there. They just look at me like, did that lady just yell her cow back into the fence? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I tell you, if you really lock into animals, and maybe it's because he's been around me since he was a baby and I've been yelling at him. I've been yelling at him since he was a baby. And so he's used to me yelling at him. But anyway, circus tricks around here at 1890 Homestead this fine day, this gorgeous fall fine day. So I hope your day's going good. You got a chance to get outside, get some of that morning sun on your face. You know you need it. Whew, I was saying yesterday, it feels heavy. It feels heavy, feels like things are changing. I've been talking about this week. Like everybody's kind of like at their end of the rope. It just feels like what's happening here? And I don't know if it's the planets. I told you, I don't really get into all that stuff, but I believe that there's frequency, and it's, it would make sense that, just like the basics, right? Like the moon affects women's fertility cycles. I mean, it's obvious that the planets and everything has an impact on us biologically. So that's what I think I'm picking up on. People just seem tense, and it feels like a lot of people are struggling. Just feels like tense right now. So I want to talk about fear today, because I've been noticing, and I'm sure you have too, and maybe this is why we're all feeling tense, is because I've seen a lot of expression recently that's like, hey, I'm going to say this, but also I would never kill myself. I'm not suicidal. I'm not this. I'm not that. And it's not just one person. It's not just one person. It's a lot of people. And it's just got me thinking today, like, where is the fear coming from? That's the question we should be asking, because I don't recall when I was growing up, any reporter, I know the landscape is different when it comes to media now than when you and I grew up, in the 80s and 90s. It's obviously a lot different with the internet. I get it. But I don't ever recall a reporter, a journalist, somebody that, delivered the news, looking straight into the camera or writing an article and saying, "I'm not suicidal. I would never kill myself. Don't kill me for what I'm saying." And now And maybe some people think, oh, well, these people are just dramatic. They're just trying to get clicks or whatever. No, I don't think so. I don't think you can claim that at this point, given what's transpired with Charlie Kirk and others. And others. Many others. You got to go back now and question the suicides that we've been told were suicides. Are they all suicides? I don't think we can just say that they, all the suicides have been determined as suicide that actually were. I don't think we can do that. Through COVID, and I knew this. I mean, we knew this years ago. You probably knew this years ago. If you're listening to this show, you probably were awake a long time ago. Most of you. Many of you were probably new to it too. But we've kind of known that the world wasn't working the way that they want us to think that the world works. Everybody's diplomatic and there's no shady stuff going on. Of course, it's very difficult to keep going along that line of thinking these days when you see somebody, assassinated right in front of your eyes. And even your president has an assassination attempt on them. It just goes on and on. But lots of people talking about this, commenting on it. But I just want to bring a different perspective to it today. Why aren't we asking what's the pressure? Where's the pressure coming from? Is it different entities that are applying pressure? I mean, I think that's the question we should be asking. So anyway, I popped in and listened to Candace Owens last night. And this is what I'm talking about in one instance. This is just one. I have others. Take a listen.
So inspired by Josh Hammer's utter lack of human decency that I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real, okay? I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes.
I tell you, I think Candace has the Holy Spirit with her right now. And I just see it. She is a woman on a mission. And I don't know if she's right. But she certainly lives in the country that should allow her the right to investigate it, should allow her to fall flat on her face if she's wrong, and should allow her to expose the truth if she's right. I think we have to be super careful right now because it is so enticing to fall on one side or the other. And this conversation that Candace is having every evening on her podcast it's a very nuanced topic. And I think that we could easily get pushed into a way that we hate one group of people, which is always wrong. To isolate and hate an entire group of people is always wrong. Always. So we have to be careful. When I say nuanced, I mean really nuanced, because a lot of times what happens if you are, taking a side of one group, then you kind of are assumed that you're going to hate its adversary or be on the side of its adversary, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's always kind of all or nothing in the way these things play out online. And the truth of the matter is that this is a very nuanced situation. And I'm just concerned that if it happens that a group of people is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, I'm concerned that that will trickle down to all, people that are associated with that group. And that's a recipe for disaster. I'll tell you what I mean. We've got a great show for you today. We're talking about geofencing. We're talking about folic acid. I've got some new information for you on folic acid. I know you're going to want to know. Also, I want to talk about self-diagnosing. And our health topic today is about varicose veins. Do you need compression socks? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
I was just going to tell you about Megan. She was dealing with lingering stiffness, low energy for years, but since she started our cellular reset, everything has changed for her. So her body recovers faster, her energy stays consistent throughout the day, and she feels stronger overall. She's so grateful for Naturally Inspired Radio and for the message that we give here each and every day, because it's made a huge difference in her life. And that is from Megan down in Tennessee. So you can get your cellular reset at naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset. Don't forget, when you become a customer, you unlock so much value. I tell you, last night we had our weekly wellness workshop. Just for being a customer, you get to attend all of those weekly wellness workshops. And last night we talked about parasites. We had a good time too. Parasites, woo, creepy crawlies. But we had a really good discussion about it. And I think it helped. I think it helped a lot of people understand, because, there's a lot of information on parasites right now, and it's very popular on places like TikTok and whatnot. And so it's good to understand how you really should always be detoxing. So anyway, that's what we talked about last night. If you need more energy, if you are looking to support your mitochondria at a cellular level, this is the product for you. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset, or you can text me, Tammy, at 720-303-8868. Happy to answer any single question that you might have. Let's get back to this conversation, okay? I guess what I'm trying to say is, there's gangsters in every race, creed, and culture. Every race, creed, and culture has got a group of gangsters in it. And that doesn't mean I'm talking about street gangsters. There's corporate gangsters. And right now, I think the stakes have never been higher because we are going into a new revolution. The way the world is going to function, even in like 2 years from now, is going to be super different. In 5 years from now, it's going to be even more different. And in 10 years from now, it may be, you might not even recognize it. That's how different things are getting. And it's changing quickly because of artificial intelligence, because of the nature of the shift in health and the biotechnology, the biological revolution where man is merging with machine. That's what these people want. Oh my gosh, if you knew what was inside my head right now, because I listened to a whole lecture again from Eric Schmidt today, while I was working out, I don't even have words for how this is going to change the world. And so it is an intense time. And the last thing we need is more division between the people. And so I don't know who it is that's responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, but I guarantee you it's some level of gangster. Corporate gangster. It was done for the purpose of manipulating politics in our country. It was done to silence a certain influence that was taking on fast. And I'll tell you, I live it in real time because I got a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old, and they're out there in the world. And we have some great conversations, and things are changing, especially with like Gen Z men. And I think the Gen Z men are going to lead the Gen Z girls, because you can't stifle the fact that as a woman, you want to get married and have babies, And so they may be still all woke and, this and that, and buying into all the propaganda still. But I'm telling you, the boys aren't. Things are changing there. And they're becoming much more conservative, and they're not interested in the woke ideology in their women. They're not interested in playing games with the whole gender thing. And like, they just want, good women that are going to help them build families. They want ride or die, That's what they want. They don't want your flaky, gone and, emotionally unstable type of, they don't want that. And so things are changing. And I think Charlie Kirk was a big piece of that puzzle in making that culture change, because he was on college campuses doing that. And so I think he was taken out for that purpose. And it was some level of gangster. And so what I'm talking about today when I talk about fear is like, why aren't we asking why everybody is so fearful? Like during COVID, right? I started this podcast, this show before COVID. I started in 2019. I didn't have any fear doing it. I mean, I was nervous about putting myself out there, and it was totally outside my box. Like personally, I had to grow, but like I wasn't afraid that people were going to cancel me or try to ruin my business or say horrific things to me when I started. And that was in 2019. But as soon as COVID kicked in, I lost friends. I lost family members. People won't speak to me now. Like, I wasn't fearful of that because I just figured, well, if you stopped speaking to me over the things that I'm saying, then you were never my friend anyway. You never cared for me if you're going to walk away from me without even asking me any questions. I might add chickens. You don't even call me up and ask me some questions. You're just split. Chickens. Anyway, I think a lot of people experience that. And so maybe there's some fear, Like, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around this because obviously I'm not in the, these circles of these high, influential people in politics, people that are exchanging millions of dollars. I'm not involved in that, obviously, but I'm trying to understand it, because it doesn't feel like to me like it's just I'm concerned over losing some funding. I don't think you put out statements like this one I'm going to share with you in a second here. If it's just, I'm a little concerned about losing some funding. And I think it's pervasive. So Marty McCary and Sanjay Gupta, I can't even stand. I mean, that guy's he's just a little minion, right? For the corporate lackeys. And that's what it is, right? These little minions who work for the big networks and whatnot. They're just corporate lackeys, they're getting their $500,000 or $1 million a year or whatever it is to yap it up and push forth the corporate message. That's Sanjay Gupta. Right? But listen to this conversation. This is Marty McCary, who is, he's in government. He's a high official in government. And this is Sanjay Gupta, who is he works for CNN. Listen to this conversation.
Is the concern that it's not safe? So I'm 55. I'm a healthy guy. I got my COVID shots. Should I get a booster or no?
What number was that then for you? 7?
Nah, I don't. Our hospital was mandating it, so I can't keep track of the numbers. But I think it was 3 or 4 for sure.
I mean, look,
Would you get it?
No, I did not get the COVID booster shot.
Because you're concerned about safety, or why?
I don't need it. I don't feel like I need it.
Did you get a flu shot?
I do generally get the flu shot, but the flu efficacy, as you know, ranges from single digits some years to 40-some% at best.
But this idea that if you're healthy, you don't need it. I mean, most people are healthy that get vaccines, right? I mean, it's to prevent you from getting sick.
But the problem is it really does not prevent you from getting sick. If you're healthy, what's preventing you is the fact that you've got cellular immunity and you're healthy and you can withstand a common cold.
If you've had it in the past, you're saying, and you have natural immunity. And that's probably most people now, which is, I think, the point that you've made.
Yeah.
This conversation kind of went on where he's badgering him. And I can feel the uncomfortableness of Marty there. He's like, but right. Everybody should get a flu shot. Right. Like, it's a cult. It's a cult held together by money. Sanjay Gupta, maybe he doesn't eat as well. If he's not working for CNN, they want to believe the edicts that's coming from the top down in their corporation. Because if they have a moral problem with it, or if they stop believing it, well, then it makes it really hard to cash those paychecks. But what I want to know is, why is our government official, who we elected, really, because, we elected Trump because in large part, because of Bobby Kennedy as well, because of Maha. That really put Trump over the edge, right? Was getting Bobby Kennedy on board and getting all of us kind of like sick and tired of the medical system people on board. And I feel like he's almost under Sanjay's thumb a little bit. He doesn't want to just come out and say, the flu shot doesn't work. I will, though. The flu shot doesn't work. It's got a lot of problems. Don't take it. Of course, I don't give medical advice. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time. Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Welcome back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're joining me today. We're talking about fear. I want to know where all this fear is coming from, right? Who is applying this pressure? That's what we should be asking when we see all of these people kind of like recoiling, and then also people making statements point blank, like, I am not suicidal. I've sent out some insurance policies. Like, when they're just reporting on things, people are interested in this topic. Candace is getting millions of views because people are interested in this topic. Silencing her or trying to silence her or anybody else just makes it seem like you're trying to hide something. You know, it's like the worst thing that you can do. Let them talk. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Hillary Clinton. I'm not. I think she spreads disinformation. I think they're setting up entire networks of media through podcasting and whatnot to spread misinformation. Good. Bring it. Because you cannot argue with results. And unfortunately, if you're going to adhere to the Clinton way of health, you might not get the results that you are looking for. And in fact, I would put my money on that you don't. Because they're not telling you how to curate health. They're medicating you. And you just can't argue with results. So I say go for it. Go for it, man. Just keep talking. And anybody who is in opposition of you and your point of view, I would say that's the best thing that they can do is keep talking. If you are standing on truth, let them keep talking. It's the best thing that you can do. So I don't understand the legal lawfare. I don't understand the cancel culture. I don't understand why people are trying to silence people who are just wanting to get to the truth. This is another one here. So I'll share this tweet. This is from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Of course, everybody thinks MTG is just crazy. She's just crazy. Oh, she's such a kook, you know. Tucker Carlson, he's a kook. Candace is a kook. Kook. It also, name calling just, you know, it's just not the way. If you truly have, you know, truthful information to share, when you start name calling people, it makes it seem like you don't. So check out this tweet from MTG. I am not suicidal and one of the happiest, healthiest people you will meet. I have full faith in God and Jesus Christ and my Lord and Savior. As a sinner, I'm only saved through his grace and mercy. With that said, if something happens to me, I ask you all to find out which foreign government or powerful people would take heinous action to stop the information from coming out, not only about this issue, but because of the truth that I have been speaking. The people understand what I'm saying. This is in regards to the Epstein stuff. Why is this okay? You know, that people who are trying to dig into stuff, they're threatened. They're feeling threatened for their lives now. It's out of control, and we should all be trying to figure out what entities are applying pressure in this way that people are afraid for their lives. That's a real problem. It's a real problem. And that's the question that we should be asking. Why are people feeling this way? And if we don't push for answers on what happened to Charlie Kirk, then it's possible that rumors will continue to fly around. The reason why people started questioning the government, I mean, people like me questioned a long time ago because, you know, we went deeper and we just found out some things. You can't ever go back after you understand some core things. I mean, learning how the Fed came to be the Fed, that'll change your perspective, you know? That's a really different, you know, you grow up thinking that the Fed is like a government institution. Oh, no, it's not. So, you know, there are certain things that you find out where you just can't go back to the la la land where you think everybody's got it's all the checks and balances and everything's A-okay. It's not. Like, money talks. And negotiations happen, and corporations are running these countries. And they get what they want. Even if they have to go gangster, they're going to get what they want. This is nothing but gangster behavior on the corporate level, on the billionaire platform. That's what's happening here. But it doesn't mean, you know, we are going to hate, you know, the people of Israel because there's a possibility that there's a gangster cartel operating in America, maybe. We're not going to hate all the Israeli people or Jewish people because of that. And it also doesn't mean that we are going to promote a religion like Islam because we have compassion for children dying in Gaza. Both things can exist. I have empathy for the children and the families that are being killed. But I also understand that religion has to be kept in check, so to speak. It is not conducive with the Western world. And if you are believing that it is, you don't understand Islam. Please go read about it. Go listen to people like Raymond, oh gosh, his last name escapes me. I'll think of it in a minute. But he's an author. He's a scholar. He's written several books on this. I'm telling you, it's not conducive with the Western world. So that's where I feel like I'm concerned about this, because life is nuanced. These issues are nuanced, and it could go sideways again and be used for another war. Things that are happening right now. And I can see it kind of like, oh gosh, this is not good. But fortunately, we have 350 million people here in America. And I think most of us want the best for America. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe we can unite on that issue, right? Like, we want what's best for America. I like to think that we could unite on that. There's nothing wrong with being, pro the country that you live in. And it's only because of rhetoric and weaponized campaigns that have brainwashed people into thinking that they should hate their country. And again, the left, right, right? Hate your country, burn the American flag, right? These people have no clue, I feel like, what goes on across the world and how lucky they are to be in America. And because of constant programming, and again, you talk about corporate gangsters are running the algorithms, right? And they're running the algorithms through your portal for a very specific outcome. They launch these campaigns for a very specific outcome. And guess who that outcome benefits most, right? If it isn't the corporate gangsters. I feel like, and maybe you can relate to this, I feel like I'm on an out of control roller coaster and it is just going down the tracks, right? Just flying down the tracks. And we're just like hanging on because we're not driving it. We're not driving it. And we're just like, we don't know where this is taking us, between AI, between censorship, the Great Reset agenda in general, like all of those things. They're coming fast. We're headed there fast. And we're all just sitting on this roller coaster going, what the hell? Like, where are we going? Who's taking us there? I can't see who's operating this thing, but like, I don't even want to go here. And yet, boom, we're going. How do we get off? How do we stop the roller coaster? How do we get off this thing? I don't know, but I think we start talking to each other. We start talking to each other like, how are we going to get off this thing? How are we going to get off this thing? I don't know, but, I don't want to be on here. And I think that would be maybe the first thing that we could agree upon, that we all don't want to be on this out of control roller coaster that's headed God knows where. We got to start asking the right questions. So, who is applying the pressure? Who is applying the pressure? Is it the corporations specifically? And if they are, if these corporations are applying the pressure, why are they applying the pressure? Why is the pressure so intense now compared to what it used to be? Is it because it's higher stakes money? I don't know if it's money. Because how much freaking money do you need? These people are billionaires, they're worth billions and billions of dollars. Is it psychotic and they want control? Who is it? Who is it that's scaring everybody? Is it multiple people? That's the question we should be asking. Stay tuned. Your naturally inspired moment is next.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Welcome back. Have you taken advantage of your free 30-minute assessment with me? If you haven't, you still can. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. This is a time for you and I to sit down and go through some of the things in your lifestyle that could be keeping you from achieving your optimum health. We talk about nutrition. We talk about movement. We talk about stress management. We talk about sleep. We talk about, some of the chemicals that you might be exposed to. So toxic exposure. What else do we talk about? Sometimes we talk about purpose in life. Because that's a variable of your happiness and it impacts your health. So we talk about all kinds of things. And then, you become part of the Naturally Inspired community. You get my text line coaching for free when you become a customer. You get to attend the weekly wellness workshops on Tuesday nights, and you get a supportive community. A lot of people are getting benefit from it. I woke up to a text from Brenda the other day where she was telling me that she's now down, I think, 11 pounds. 11 pounds. And she was really frustrated when she came to me. She felt like what she was doing before wasn't working. She couldn't, she didn't understand why. And we sat down, we had a really good conversation, and, she's pretty committed. So things are working really well for her. And I think it's only been like 2.5 weeks maybe, or something like that. Not that long. Sometime in September, we ended up sitting down and having a chat. And now we're here the first week of October and she's down 11 pounds. And I just, that's what happens when you do the right things for your body. So that can be you if you're looking for weight loss help, if you are looking for improvements in your health markers. Book yourself an assessment today. naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment, or you can just text me and feel me out. Maybe like, who is this girl? You might hear something funny. Somebody this morning had some trouble ordering something last night or whatever, and they thought we were a scam, which I think is so funny. Because Jason called her this morning, was like, hey, hi, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I think it's a scam. Click. We're not a scam. just so you know, we're not a scam. You can text me. It's really me, 720-303-8868. We are working to change the culture of health in America, and many of you are joining us, and we are so grateful for that. Let's get to our naturally inspired moment today. Today, I felt compelled to talk about courage. I think we're going to need it going forward. I think we've always needed it, but I think going forward, we're really going to need it. And so I want to talk about 5 strategies for courage, how to choose bravery over comfort. So number 1, you're going to have to act before you feel ready. I've done this, so I can speak from major experience. I was not ready to do some of the things that I have been doing over the last 5.5 years, let me tell you. And if I had waited till I was ready, I wouldn't be doing this. So courage rarely feels convenient. It's not the absence of fear. It's movement through it. It's doing it anyway. Even when you feel nervous, even when you feel fearful, even when you are scared, you do it anyway. Every time you take imperfect action, you teach your nervous system that you can survive uncertainty. So you can take one small step toward the thing you've been putting off today. Forward motion dissolves fear faster than waiting for confidence. Absolutely, it's not going to be perfect. In fact, it might be really messy. But here's the thing that you're teaching your nervous system every time you do something anyway, when you are, feeling and experiencing anxiety or fear, you tell that nervous system, I'm in charge. And guess what? You don't die. You might feel like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel so nervous. Your brain may be having an absolute meltdown, but you get through it. And when you're through it, you have taught yourself something. You have taught your nervous system something. And it is that you will not control me. You will not control me. I control you. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Number 2, rehearse strength, not doubt. This is a powerful one. So your thoughts create muscle memory. When you mentally replay your fears, you build resistance. So when you visualize victory, when you visualize good outcomes, you build readiness. Athletes and leaders both practice success before it happens. It's that visualization, right? If you allow your brain to go to the place where it's going to be terrible and I'm going to be so nervous and I don't want to do this and people are going to feel, and I felt this way before. If you allow your brain to go there, you're going there. You're going there. You have to think about your thoughts with a little bit of distance, right? So you have to think about, okay, this thought over here is going to take me into more worry, more doubt, more anxiety, more nervousness, more adrenaline. This thought over here isn't. It's going to build me up. It's going to get me excited. It's going to get my fighting juices going, right? And that is, you got this. You're going to do this. This is going to turn out awesome. This is going to happen. Like that kind of self-talk. So you have a choice. You have a choice. If you take the nervous, doubtful, worried, anxious train of thought every day, that's what you're going to feel. But if you take the build up, you're awesome, you're indestructible, you got this way of thought, that's what you're going to feel. The trick is just not allowing your thoughts to happen to you, but be in control of your thoughts. And you can be in control of your thoughts. It just takes practice. Okay, what do we got next here? Let's see. What do I have on my list? So 3, anchor into your why. I hate it when people say, what's your why? I don't know. I just don't like it, but I couldn't think of anything else to say. So the reason, let's call it your reason. So fear focuses on what could go wrong. Courage focuses on what is worth it. This is like when your reason is bigger than your fear. You could do almost anything. We see it time and time again. You know, sometimes you got to be pushed far enough where you just snap, you know? You just like, you've had enough and you're not going to take it anymore. And you just kind of snap. Well, you don't have to get to that point to take action. That's one way people do take action, but a lot of times it's very reactive. It's not strategized, right? It's not thought out. So you can push through that when you think of your reason. You know, the reason I started this podcast was because I was sickened by the fact that people just went into the doctor and got prescription medications. I knew those prescriptions were doing more harm than they were good for many. And I thought, man, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Like young kids on medication that they didn't need. And I knew that because I had done the research. I had the education behind it. I knew they didn't need those. And yet these, you know, unsuspecting parents were just like, well, okay, that's what the doctor said. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I wouldn't put my kid on that ever. No way. And it just built up and built up and built up. And then I'm like, okay, I got to do something about it. I snapped. Couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take watching people around me get sicker and sicker and giving praise to the medical system at the same time. The very people that were making them sicker. Oh, I love my doctor. Oh, I love this hospital. Oh, do ya? They're killing you. I mean, my gosh. Oh, Oh, that was crazy. That's crazy. Okay, 4, borrow faith until yours returns. Sometimes courage comes from knowing you're not alone. When your confidence dips, lean in on your faith. Lean in on mentors who have been through the rocky road before. And let me tell you, everyone's been through the rocky road before. Nothing comes easy. Nothing worth it comes easy. So lean into your community until you rebuild your own inner fire. Do not be afraid to ask somebody for encouragement. They're happy to give it to you. Ask for it if you need it. If you feel like, oh my gosh, what else can go wrong? Reach out to somebody for some encouragement. Number 5, reframe failure as refinement. This is a very important one. Every stumble you have is feedback. Courage grows in correction, not in perfection. When you stop fearing your mistakes, you start using them as building blocks. So you can reflect on one failure that actually prepared you for success and thank it for shaping you. You have to respect your experiences and understand that they're not a tear down, they're a build up. They happen so that you can build up from it. Maybe you weren't ready. And, all that means is that you were new. When you start something, it doesn't work out. Like when we started the Naturally Inspired, we had no idea what we were doing, trust me. We're still figuring it out, right? We know this is our passion. We know this is what we want to do. We want to get this show out here. We want to change health culture in the country. We want people to be empowered and know their own worth. And so we keep trying. Right? Because we have bills to pay. Life costs money. And so we have to figure out how to be able to do this, matching purpose with our work. It's like everybody's dream, right? And that's what we're trying to do. It doesn't come easy, but you have to keep adapting. And the only way you're not going to figure it out is if you quit. It's the only way. That's what happens is when you throw in the towel and you go, you know what? Ugh, I give up. So don't give up. Keep pressing, right? Keep pressing. Keep trying to figure it out because that is the build up. The failures is the build up. Nobody walks into something they've never done before, brand new, and knocks it out of the park without any backstory. There's a lot of people that want to think that that's the way it happened, but it isn't. Look into their backstory, look into where they started versus where they are now. And maybe there were some deals made and maybe somebody helped them and, it's a process. Yet when we're starting something new, we're afraid because we don't want to fail. We compare our beginning to somebody else's end. Don't ever do that. Stay tuned because the second hour is coming up. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you. Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. Cheer up and chill out. I kind of wish I had a big old bag of these this week. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, I'm feeling something. I don't know what it is. I mean, we're talking about some of it for sure, but it does just feel pretty intense these days. So we have these little gummies, these Cheer Up and Chill Outs. I'll tell you, this is from Rachel. She says, I've been taking the Cheer Up and Chill Out gummies for a few weeks now, and I can really feel the difference. My mood feels lighter, and I'm handling daily stress so much better. It's amazing how something so simple can make such an an impact. Thank you, Tammy, for your great info and for always sharing natural ways to support our health. Again, that's from Rachel in Boulder. Just by becoming a customer, okay, this is what you get. So much, okay? 15% discount on every order you get when you become a member. You get money back guarantee on all of our product line. You get sometimes free, sometimes flat rate shipping, depending on the amount of your order. I think it's $150. Over $150 is free shipping. Loyalty points, kind of like, cash back on your credit card. You get the same thing here for all your wellness products. So it really lines up nicely because then you can try new things that you've always wanted to try. You get priority access to my health text line. This is the big thing. This is what nobody else is offering. Okay? You buy products from me. You get all my coaching for free. You get access to my priority text health text line where, I can send you information. We can talk about meal plans. You get encouragement every single day. You get a text every morning that encourages you towards making better lifestyle choices every single day. You get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshop. Last night, I think we were on late because it's like kind of fun, right? We present a serious topic. Last night we talked about parasites, but then we open it up for questions and answers. And, we have a few laughs because, being healthy should be fun. So that's what happens on Tuesday nights. And, you get so much more. You get a welcome gift from us, so many different things. So take advantage. You're buying a lot of this stuff anyway. Vitamins, protein shakes, clean products for your laundry detergent, for your kitchen countertops. Like the products are awesome and they're very affordable. And you get access to this fantastic community and free coaching. Like it's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. And of course, that supports us as a show and keeps us being able to put out all this valuable information and change our health culture in the country. So become a customer today. We'd be so grateful to you. You can text me questions, 720-303-8868, or just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Have a look around. But those cheer up and chill out gummies, I'm telling you, they're pretty awesome. They don't make you feel like wonky. There's no like CBD or THC or anything. It's not that. It's ashwagandha and some herbs, and it's really good. Okay, I want to talk about geofencing. Do you guys know what geofencing is? This is pretty crazy. So geofencing is a location-based technology that creates a virtual boundary around a real-world geographical area, like a store, an event venue, a neighborhood, or a church. And so what this geofencing does is it allows, as soon as you walk in there with your phone, it allows this technology to grab your phone, basically, and it can track you and it can continue to contact you after you have left the venue. Okay? I want to share this clip with you from Ian Carroll, and I think you'll find it interesting. Take a listen.
23 out of 86. Item, targeted geofencing. Right there. Description. Largest geofencing and targeted Christian digital campaign ever. Geofence the actual boundaries of every major church in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado, and all Christian colleges during worship times. Track attendees and continue to target with ads. So, what that means is that Israel, the state of Israel, on this FARA registration is disclosing that a foreign state is paying for an influence campaign that will actively locate your cell phone if you go to church in any of California, Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado. They will target and track your phone at church. And then when you leave church, they will continue to track you and send you customized Israel ads using Israeli money to back that campaign. That's why we have FARA, is so that they have to
I don't think many people know that that type of geofencing is happening. And this is an NGO. This is a non-governmental organization that has registered with FARA because they take foreign funding to implement these influence campaigns here in America. And I like, this is just like, doesn't sit right with me. Why, just because you are attending a church, should any entity be able to compile your data and then continue to propagandize you? I mean, we're talking about capturing people's, not only just their phone number, like text and whatnot, but like their social media accounts. Like this is AI capability that's able to help curate your feed, your algorithm. It's not just Israel that's doing this, right? This is happening when you go into stores. This is happening when you go to concerts, in event venues. This is happening, basically any building could be implementing this for the purpose of, marketing to you. I think there's layer upon layer upon layer of this stuff happening. And I don't even think we can quantify, we're all on lists somewhere. Every single one of us, maybe you're on the list of the lady who likes skinny jeans. Maybe you're on the list of the lady who likes to buy granola. Maybe you're on the list of the lady who, buys this kind of makeup for the last 10 years. Or maybe you're on a list for somebody who voted for Trump. Or maybe you're on a list as somebody who's anti-vax because you went to a venue where they were talking about questioning vaccines. You see how nuanced and kind of scary this can get? Because when people are compiling lists, they're targeting those lists for some reason. And we don't know why they're targeting the list. What is it that you want the list for? Is it just to sell people things? Or could it be for something else? Because things got pretty crazy during COVID and we weren't allowed to go to places if we didn't have vaccine passports, right? If you're already geo-fenced and you're on a list, and my mind just goes crazy with this stuff because, they want to get this technology into our bodies. So many of these, billionaire gangsters that are developing AI, they've said the phone's going away. There'll be no device that you carry around. You will be the device. You and the device will be one. And so just think about that, right? So all of a sudden you try to run into a store or something or into a public place and dang, you can't go in there because you're not updated on the latest strain of flu, which I'll remind you is ineffective. At best, that's being generous. Calling it just ineffective is being generous. But you see what I'm saying? We can slice this so many ways. I mean, I don't know. It just, why are we being inundated with ways to divide people into groups? Me personally, I kind of hate groups. I don't like them because they always go off the rails at some point, especially if they're very strict, right? You got to be this way, you got to be that way. If you don't fit in, but it's just let people be, just let people be. It just feels like so much, just feels so, like we're being infiltrated all the time. You walk into your local church, people, and right here in Colorado, this is happening, where they're collecting your data and then they will follow up with you. I thought we had freedom of religion. Like, what if you don't want people to know what religion you worship? I think that should be your right. And I would be asking, I'd be asking your church, are you participating in this? Are you allowing these, NGOs, if there's an NGO visiting your church, for a guest message or something, I'd be asking, are you guys geofencing here? Are you geofencing? Because I don't know. Or maybe like leave your phone at home when you go to churches, when you go to, I don't know. It's everywhere. It's not just churches. It's stores. It's, I don't know, a small private business, I guess, like doesn't feel as invasive. But when a foreign agency is collecting names on you, I don't know. I don't like it. Do you? You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. We're going to talk folic acid coming up next. Stay tuned. This is important stuff.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. I want to remind you, book your assessment with me, 30-minute assessment, naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. You'll be so glad you did. Join us in the Naturally Inspired community. We have so many things. And before I get into this next segment, I'm going to tell you about our methylated vitamins because it pertains to what we're going to be talking about here. You can try our methylated vitamins at naturallyinspiredstore.com/vitamin. You can text me 720-303-8868 if you have more questions about the MTHFR gene mutation that we've been talking a lot about lately. And you're going to start to hear more about it, I think, in the public sphere as days move on. I pray that you will. The methylated vitamins are a great fit for everybody. I think it's just a no-brainer at this point as we learn more and more. This is what I learned today about folic acid. So this is from an account on Twitter called Dr. Claire Craig. I've been following her for a while. She puts out some really good stuff. 7.5 to 8.5 million people in the UK cannot have folic acid. That's 1 in 8 of the population. The UK government have ruled it will be in all white flour and white flour products from December of 2026. That's what we have here in America already. We have that, everything fortified already here in America. So she's posted a little portion of a study here. These groups overlap significantly, okay? Cancer patients often have B12 issues. Dialysis patients may have stents. A simple sum, 10.58 million, would overcount using inclusion, exclusion principles, and known comorbidities. So 20% of cancer patients have a B12 deficiency. 10% of dialysis patients have cancer. The adjustment estimate is approximately 7.5, 8.5 million people. This is dominated by B12 deficiency and cancer causes. So this is intriguing because, so the whole MTHFR gene mutation is essentially, in a nutshell, when you have this mutation, it means that you have trouble with your detox pathways. I've explained this probably a lot, but I'm going to do it again just so people understand. So the way I understand medicine comes from a traditional Chinese medicine background. It just makes the most sense to me. We have detox pathways running through our body, right? And Chinese medicine believes essentially when you have dysfunction in the body, when the body gets out of homeostasis, you have congestion somewhere in the body. So you may have congestion around your liver. That can be brought on by things like anger, or it can be brought on by things like exposure to toxicity. So what happens when you have that congestion? Inflammation, right? You have inflammation, sometimes a fatty liver, whatever's, clogging up that area. They move it through the body with herbs, right, to detox, but they also apply acupuncture. And that is a way to get, through strategically placed needles in meridians, it moves the chi or the energy through the body. So it's just like, backed up traffic on your highway. If there's an accident ahead, everything's going to slow down in the on the highway, right? Same thing in the body. Your pathways are going to slow down when you have congestion. Well, when you have the MTHFR gene mutation, it causes that. You're not as able to detox. Your highways aren't open as much as they should be, and so it constantly has to kind of navigate these accidents and get through. It doesn't operate at optimum efficiency. And so that would make perfect sense to me. And it's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but it would make perfect sense to me that people with this gene mutation and other mutations possibly would be more prone to get dis-ease, especially in this country, because our food is poisoned with this stuff. And not only is it the folic acid, but it's the glyphosate, it's the the other pesticides, it's the spraying in the air, all the chemicals that come with cloud seeding and chemtrails and whatnot, and then it's a lot of the plastics, the microplastics. Like, we are living in such a toxic environment that it makes perfect sense to me that people who have challenges with their detox pathways would get dis-ease. And so we've had the ability to check for gene mutations and to look at people's genome for such a long time. It seems like, why aren't we doing this at birth? And I've been saying this for years, like, why? And it's very, it can be very expensive to do it. It's much more affordable now. But in the long run, it's going to save lives and it's going to save money, because people aren't going to need sick care as much. But I guess that's the point, isn't it? Because something so easy as understanding your genetics are not fixed in the way that you are destined for disease if you have these specific genetics. No, your lifestyle impacts your outcomes. And so the more knowledge you have about your genetics, the better you can conduct yourself in life for the best results. It's just like, it's a no-brainer. I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm just like, looking at these PhD people and all these people with I got this degree, I got that degree, and I'm so smart, and I got a Nobel Prize. But like, yeah, maybe we could test people for this. And maybe we could tell them, hey, you need to eat this way. Don't eat folic acid. You know, you got blocked up detox pathways. Use the green cleaning stuff. Don't expose yourself. You probably shouldn't go into the line of work where you're exposed to chemicals every day. Maybe make a different choice. You see what I'm saying? But we don't do any of that. It's just like too common sense, I think, for these brainiacs or something, or I don't know. I've had them try to explain it, or it's not that simple. It's not that simple. It's the same thing with farming, right? Oh, you're so idealic. Like that, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Is it? I feel like it is. I feel like it is that simple. I feel like you don't want to lose the money. I feel like you like the centralized system because it's feeding your pockets. I feel like you like the disease model because, oh, look at Wall Street today. I just got another, so much money in my 401k, and good thing I have it. I mean, I know Pfizer's evil, but I have them in my portfolio. Really? Cool. It's not good, I feel like we could change it pretty easy, actually. It's just like the system's working really well for a very small group of people. And the bigger group of people, well, we're just busy. We're busy trying to keep our heads above water, right? We're busy going to work every day, taking kids here, going there, because that's the culture of our lifestyle now. And it just so happens, like, if you're so busy, I mean, it's kind of like, when a drug addict gets up every morning, what do they have to do? One thing. They have to do one thing. They have to go get drugs. They have to, otherwise they're sick. So that becomes their priority, right? Well, a normal person in today's world, if they're raising kids, they own a house, they got a mortgage, they got a car payment, they got all these bills, they got all these responsibilities. What do they have to do when they get up in the morning? Get up in the morning, you got to tend to all of that stuff. It's a huge trap. You spend your whole life running around tending to all your things, your house payment, your car payment, the new clothes that you want, the trip that you want to take, the private school or the, club volleyball or whatever. Like you're just like running around trying to fill all the gaps. You ain't got time to research the MTHFR gene mutation. You ain't got time to, deal with whatever. And it's just like, it's a really great system, right? For the people up there. Above, for the billionaire gangsters. It's a great system. Same thing's happening right now with AI. Nobody's like, what are you going to do? You got to go to work. You got to pay daycare. You got to take the kids to club volleyball. You got to make it to the football game on Friday. You got to go to church on Sunday. Like you got your days, your week's packed, man. When do you have time to do anything about AI? Yet here we are on the freaking roller coaster. We're all screaming, ah! Where are we going? Where are we going? But the billionaire gangsters are happy. They're happy. Nobody's slowing down the roller coaster. We're not even having a discussion about it. Like it's going to change literally everything. And, I don't know. It's changing our kids. It's a serious thing, and yet we're not even talking about it. I want to get to this point too, when it comes to folic acid. So it's not just folic acid. I don't want people to think like, oh, the MTHR, all I do is take methylated vitamins and I'm totally fine. Like there's COMT, which stands for catechol methyltransferase. It's an enzyme your body uses to break down certain neurotransmitters and hormones, especially dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. Estrogen, COMT, is part of your methylation cycle, which means it depends on nutrients like methylated B12, folate, magnesium, SAM-E to function properly. So think of a COMT as your body's chemical brake pedal. It helps you turn down high levels of stimulating or emotional neurotransmitters once they've done their job. When COMT works efficiently, you clear stress hormones and dopamine smoothly. When COMT is slow or underactive, you hold on to dopamine and adrenaline longer. When COMT is fast or overactive, you clear them too quickly, which can lead to low drive, fatigue, and brain fog. How does this kind of translate to everyday life? So COMT variance, slow COMT is a high achiever, intense focus, perfectionist, anxious, difficulty winding down, sensitive to caffeine. A fast COMT is calm, easygoing, sometimes has low motivation or attention, and needs stimulation to focus. Methylated B vitamins, magnesium, protein. Reduce your stress load, manage your stress. Don't use excessive caffeine. Estrogen detox support, just some ways to support that variant. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredраdio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Welcome back. So glad you're joining me today. Crazy stuff. So I guess what I want to say about, the MTHFR gene and this other one, COMT, it's really not like a one-shot deal, though, and I know we tend to want to think that way because that's kind of how the allopathic model of medicine that we all grew up in functions. Is it's kind of like, okay, take this, it fixes that. Take that, it fixes that, right? Like we compartmentalize everything. And really, what we need to be thinking of is that your body is a synergistic system, right? So it's like, you're dealing with parasites sometimes, and you should be supporting your detox pathways. You should be taking methylated vitamins if you have, you should just take the methylated vitamins if you have the, gene mutations. Like these are all pieces of the puzzle, but they aren't necessarily, the thing that's going to fix everything. So, we think, if I take the methylated vitamins, I can still go to McDonald's or whatever. I wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean? Like we have to dedicate ourselves to the lifestyle. I know you don't want to do the work. But here's the good news. Like once you start feeling better and you have more energy and, you don't have pain anymore, it's nothing. You don't care. because you're just like excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel I've got so much energy. I'm feeling good. Like, so you just want to do more. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is contagious. Like you just keep wanting to do more. So that's why, I say start with something small that can produce a result for you. And then once you get that result, it's like, okay, now the fuse has been lit, right? Because now you're like, oh, if I just did this and now this, what if I did something else? I'd probably feel even better. And yes, you would. Yes, you would. So, don't overwhelm yourself. But also healing is, I always use this description because it's such a good description. When you've been deficient in something for a long time, or if you've, been digging a hole into disease. So you've dug this hole of disease and now you're like, damn, I'm in a hole. You didn't dig that hole in 3 days. You probably didn't dig that hole in 3 weeks. You probably didn't even dig it in 3 months. Maybe it's been more like 3 years, or sometimes it's 30 years that you've been digging the hole, So if you can get yourself kind of up out of the hole, when you start taking supplements and vitamins and you start eating properly, you're putting a shovel of dirt every day in the hole. Another shovel of dirt, another shovel of dirt, another shovel of dirt until the hole's full. And when the hole's full, it means your deficiencies have been taken care of. You've been able to detox the toxicity. You've taken care of the inflammation. And it kind of happens like that. It feels like that. I always tell people, the clue that you're starting to feel better is when you go, wait a minute, am I feeling better? No, not feeling better. Then a couple days goes by and you're like, wait a minute, is that better? Nah, because it's so slight. And then 10 days later, you're like, oh, that's definitely better. It's definitely better. And then it just kind of, keeps compounding from there. But that's the first sign, because we're used to the pharma model where we think, we take the pain pill and the pain goes away instantly, 15 minutes, right? That's not true healing. That's a Band-Aid. That's a cover-up. True healing is much more like the whole scenario. And so you got to be patient. The good news is once you've turned it around and you're starting to, put dirt in the hole, you're on the way up. You just got to be patient and keep shoveling the dirt in the hole. That makes sense. I want to talk about this next topic. And I know, some people get a little upset about it, but I want to talk about self-diagnosing, especially when it comes to autism. People are self-diagnosing all the time with things like ADD, ADHD. Now, even some people are self-diagnosing bipolar, and certainly autism. And this is disturbing to me, because it's not a joke. Getting a medical diagnosis is not something that you should take lightly. It should be last resort type of thing, And people are just jumping on these diagnoses, I think because there is a cultural contagion to be diagnosed. There's a certain set of privileges that come with a diagnosis, like autism, or I'm not saying privileges in a good way. I'm saying like social privileges, like, oh, you know what I'm talking about? And so I think people are quick to want to self-diagnose and identify with these labels. And it's not a good thing, because what it's doing is it's watering down the science that we need to get truly autistic people help. And I'm just going to say, y'all coming off a little nuts, a little psycho, I just, was privy to a story recently where there was a group of kids that were talking about autism, and they were all claiming like, I'm autistic, I'm autistic, I'm autistic. Well, I'm autistic. And no, you're not. No, you're not. And I don't even know what to say about this, really. Let me just go to the facts, okay? So here's some diagnosis of core behaviors used to diagnose autism, okay? Social communication and interaction, limited eye contact, facial expression, difficulty understanding or using nonverbal cues, trouble forming or maintaining peer relationships, reduced sharing of interests, emotions, or social exchange, delayed or atypical speech development, repetitive movements, hand flapping, rocking, spinning objects, rigid routines or resistance to change, intense fixated interests, unusual sensory responses, very sensitive to noise, textures, light, or pain. Developmental patterns, symptoms typically appear before age 3. A difference in play, imagination, or adaptability. Supportive research-based biological markers, not diagnostic, but these are some things that science has been able to attach to them, but there's no test. There's not a saliva test right now for autism. Right? There's no test. So functional medicine in research circles recognizes MTHFR, COMT. They look at mitochondrial dysfunction and oxidative stress markers. They look at gut microbiome imbalance. They look at inflammatory markers. They look at heavy metal or toxic load. They look at nutrient deficiencies. These are not diagnostic for autism. They're used to personalize supportive plans once the diagnosis is made through behavioral evaluation. That's today. 1980s. In the 1980s, autism was understood much more narrowly. In the 1980 DSM-3, first listed infantile autism under pervasive development disorders in the DSM-3. The criteria emphasized quite severe early onset features. Onset before 30 months, pervasive lack of responsiveness to other people, a generalized social detachment, gross deficits in language development, or very odd speech patterns, delayed echoing, reversal of pronouns, bizarre response to environment, resistance to change, strong attachment to inanimate objects, odd sensory reactions. Prevalence was thought to be extremely low. For example, in the 1980s, study reported autism at about 4 per 10,000 children in the DSM-3. I'm concerned about this because this is becoming trendy, I guess you could say. And it sickens me that we have created a culture where people are choosing labels to escape the pressures of life. Like, I don't know why you would want to identify with a disability, but it's not okay. It's not okay to claim you are autistic because you took a quiz online, or to claim you're autistic because, you get a little anxious when you're in social settings, because you're a little quirky, because technology has changed the way you interact with people. Does not make you autistic, okay? We're going to be having a lot of conversations about this because this is a epidemic of self-diagnosis and it needs to stop. You're okay. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are achy joints holding you back? Are you tired of stiffness slowing you down? It's time to restore with Joint Restore Gummies from Prosper CBD. These delicious strawberry-flavored gummies aren't just tasty, they're designed to soothe joint discomfort, promote flexibility, and help you move freely again. No more messy creams or bitter pills. Just one gummy a day to get you back to doing what you love. Best of all, no prescription needed.
My husband was headed towards knee surgery, and I was having hip pain. A friend recommended these. We tried them, and they worked great. We noticed a difference right away.
Right now, Prosper Wellness is offering a special deal, so don't wait. Go to jointrestore1.com. That's jointrestore1.com. Grab your Joint Restore gummies today. Be sure to use the promo code TAMMY, TAMMY, for 20% off your order.
For today's health topic, we're talking about your bulging veins. And not the ones in your muscles, I mean. I've been noticing these out when I'm out and about, I can't help myself. I'm out and about and I go, oh man, I wish that person knew they had insulin resistance. I wish that person knew. I know. But I think hairdressers and people like that do it as well. I know they do because I know some hairdressers and they're like, oh, I wish that person didn't cut their own hair. You know what I'm saying? I do the same thing with health. I'm like, well, I don't know. Anyway, bulging veins in the legs, or varicose or distended veins is what they're called. It's like a bulging rope-like vein in the legs, and they're usually a sign of venous insufficiency, meaning the valves inside the leg veins aren't efficiently moving blood back up toward the heart. So blood begins to pool in the lower legs, creating pressure that makes veins enlarge, twist, and become visible. So the root cause often goes deeper than the veins themselves, though. And in allopathic medicine, they'll tell you, oh, you need compression socks or you just need surgery, right? But you're not getting to the underlying cause again. So it's weak connective tissue and collagen decline is one of the factors. So the structural scaffolding that I always talk about, right, in the body that supports your veins, which collagen and elastin, it weakens, of course, with age. We lose it 1% a year after the age of 25. Add in some, processed foods and poor nutrition that leads to chronic inflammation. And you've got a recipe for this type of situation. So also low protein intake contributes to this. And let me tell you, people are totally under eating protein. We are, undernourished and overfed, if that makes sense, right? We're not getting the nutrients, but everybody's overfeeding. And when you start eating from a protein standpoint, you won't overeat. You won't overeat because your nutrient quota is being met. The trick is breaking the habit from the carbohydrates, from the sugar, from the nutrient bankrupt food that gives you, mouth pleasure for a few moments and wreaks havoc on your body long term. So if you can think about that before you make your food choices, am I actually nutrifying my body or am I just entertaining myself with some mouth pleasure? Okay, so root cause is low protein intake and also vitamin C deficiency. Oxidative stress, sometimes it's linked to estrogen dominance and also toxin exposure. So poor circulation and lymphatic stagnation as well. Oh, the lymph system. So when movement is limited or the lymph system is sluggish, fluid and pressure build up in the limbs. So a sedentary lifestyle, dehydration is a big part of it, tight clothing, long hours of sitting, and then lack of muscle tone in general will contribute to this condition. So doing simple things like even legs up the wall, right? Getting the pressure off of the legs, putting your legs up the wall. I do it every night under my red light lamp in the red district with a cup of tea, with a cup of dandelion tea. I'm detoxing. I'm using red light therapy for inflammation and legs up the wall. You know, this is a lifestyle, like I said, and I look forward to doing that. It's like my little decompression time in the evening. Liver and hormonal load. So the liver filters estrogen and supports your veins as well and the tone of your veins. So, you know, things like xenoestrogens that are in our food, like plastic containers, plastic bottled water, these are called estrogen mimickers. And so they create higher levels of estrogen in our body. And a lot of that gets filtered through the liver. And this supports, keeping the liver clean and detoxified will support your veins and the tone of your veins, make them stronger. So when your liver's sluggish, if it has excess estrogen and toxins circulate, that weakens the vein walls and the valves. So varicose veins, spider veins, cellulite, PMS, or hormonal imbalance. That is a sign that the liver has too much hormonal load that is trying to detox. Inflammation and oxidative stress. So free radical damage from processed foods, alcohol, smoking, environmental toxins inflames the vessel lining as well. This oxidative stress breaks down collagen and reduces vein elasticity. So key nutrient deficiencies. Vitamin C is crucial because that's used in collagen synthesis. So you need to be supplementing with collagen, but you need to be supplementing with vitamin C. Get that in your multi. And I like to have some chewable vitamin C's around the house as well, because it's always good to pop a few of those if you feel something coming on. We've got a great one on the Naturally Inspired store, so you can peruse our website, our product line website. Type in vitamin C. There's a great chewable one on there. Zinc and copper, because that's great for connective tissue repair. Magnesium. I love magnesium. I mean, if you're not supplementing with magnesium, I know you could feel better just from supplementing with magnesium. That's how powerful it is. Also, you want to get polyphenols into your diet as well, because that improves capillary strength. So polyphenols, that's your dark leafy greens, your dark, rich, like pomegranate, grapes, all the dark stuff. There's lots of polyphenols in there. I use it just with the Cellular Reset because it's just 1 teaspoon a day, tastes fantastic, and I know I'm getting a ton of polyphenols in that product. Omega-3s, because they are anti-inflammatory. They help blood flow support as well. Lots of healthy fats in your diet. Super important, right? Get a little flaxseed meal too and add that into your salad. Sprinkle that on top of your Greek yogurt or what have you, just to get that extra into your diet. In terms of movement, a rebounder. Remember that? I think it was Jane Fonda. She had the little rebounder in her little exercise aerobics outfit where she'd just like bounce on it. Yeah, it turns out that like grandma's exercises were actually very beneficial. They were very beneficial because when you're rebounding, you're moving your lymph. right? So walking, I prefer walking with a weighted vest for some resistance, but it's still very valuable whether, you're wearing a weighted vest or whether you're just walking without one. Very powerful stuff that you can do there. Elevating your legs for 10 minutes at the end of the day. Put them up on the wall. It's not hard. You can alternate cold and hot showers to stimulate vascular tone as well. So there are many kind of strategies for improving your circulation in terms of your veins and getting those distended veins under control. It is it's important to make sure that you're nutrifying. A lot of people still think, I don't need supplementation. It just gives you, expensive urine. Oh, brother, I would say to you, our soils are bankrupt. They have been flooded with pesticides. They have been monocropped now for a long, long time. And what happens is the nutrients that we were supposed to get in our food are no longer in our food. And so supplementation is absolutely necessary, especially when you're dealing with these things that we talked about today, right? The gene mutations that keep us from being able to effectively detox. You need these nutrients. You aren't deficient in prescription medications. That's not what is causing your problem. That is very much a Band-Aid solution to stop the signal coming from your body, but it's not going to create healing in the body. Only the body creates healing, right? Only the body can heal. Nothing else can heal you. Only the body can heal. And it heals when it is nutrified, when it is detoxified, when it is moving, right? When it's not sedentary, so it can move things through your detox pathways. And then there's this huge other component that nobody talks about in the healthcare realm, and that is your thoughts and your feelings and your stress and how you're processing trauma throughout life. That's a huge component as well. It has a direct impact on, hormones like insulin, hormones like cortisol, and those things have a cascading effect on the rest of our hormones. So even our hunger hormones and our satiety hormones. So, going in with a kind of a silver bullet approach, this is how I'm going to fix this thing right here. It's the wrong approach. You have to look at the body as a whole. You have to look at the body as, okay, how do I undo inflammation, right? How do I walk this back and get my body coerced back into homeostasis? And the foundation is not that hard. It is taking out all your ultra processed foods. It is limiting sugar, right? Getting rid of industrial oils that create inflammation in your body. Making sure you are getting adequate amounts of protein because your body needs protein, needs it. And especially as we get older, we need that protein. Supplement with collagen. You'll be so grateful that you did. It protects your mobility. It keeps all of that fascia hydrated and mobile. Lack of collagen equals lack of independence. You don't necessarily have a knee problem. You may have a collagen problem, So collagen is a key thing to supplement with. Adequate amounts of collagen. And you got to get into a routine of managing stress. I know it's easily said, don't sweat the small things. And they're all small things, but they don't feel like small things. in our human bodies, you know, when we are running around from one thing to the next, like I described earlier in the show, running around to make sure we go to work, to a job we hate, to pay a payment on a car that's too expensive, to put the kids in a camp somewhere where they can get the very best of everything. I don't know. I hope as we move into the AI revolution that perhaps we'll get some better insight to how we spend our time. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to go. As I always say, I'm an analog girl living in a digital world. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and this has been Naturally Inspired Radio. See you tomorrow.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.